It's a wickedly dark portrayal of a classic Gothic tale. The Minnesota Ballet's production of Dracula is packed with drama. Robert Gardner and Reinhard von Rabenau are here to tell us more about it. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you.
Nice to see you. Okay, Robert, artistic director and the choreographer of Dracula.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you want us to get out of this? Are you going to scare the heck out of us?
Maybe not the heck, but we'd like to get a little raise the hair on the, on the back of your arms, and but I am a lyrical choreographer, a ballet choreographer, and so I had a little bit of a. Took me a couple years to decide whether to do this ballet or not. So I had to have the right group.
And are you staging it? Scary?
It's more like it's like a graphic novel. A friend of mine gave me some comic books of Dracula, and I'm also a big fan of Edward Gorey, who's an illustrator who does it's very dark and gothic, but has a sort of wry humor to it. And there's not a lot of humor in it, I guess.
Okay, Reinhard, I mean, this is gothic, it's dark.
Yes.
What's it like to dance that?
It's a lot of fun. It's definitely a different look for the company, I think. We have to find a new element in our dancing, I think.
And is it tricky? I mean, is it rehearsal, rehearsal, rehearsal?
Yes, well, a lot of new dancers, a lot of new faces, so learning everybody's name, we're having to learn a lot of new choreography too.
Yeah. Well, steep learning curve, but very cool. And you know what? We had a chance to step into the rehearsal of Dracula in the rehearsal studio. And so we're going to take a look at that and continue our conversation.
Thank you.
Let's check it out.
There's a lot of acting, no speaking obviously because it's ballet, and then a lot of dance, a lot of difficult dance. It just had to be animalistic and full out. The men have to portray wolves. Some of the lifting that Dracula has to do. This is a ballet. It's artful, it's lyrical, it's classical, but it's scary and dark at the same time. Yeah, it's a challenge, but it's been really great to stretch myself and my artist, the artist of the Minnesota Ballet, dramatically as well as technically.
Reinhard, what's the hardest part for you? What's the most challenging?
I think the most challenging is trying to keep your character without breathing too heavily. There's a lot of getting beat up in the first act.
Especially this character.
Yeah. Well, that's what's amazing to me about ballet is it's really hard work, but you can't show it generally.
Yeah.
And this is very, driven by the story. It's loosely based on Bram Stoker's, Gothic novel Dracula. So there's a lot of storyline and plot to follow. And so they have to dance, but continue, like you said, their character and deal with a lot of storyline.
So give me the cliff notes of Dracula.
Okay, so Jonathan Harker is a lawyer that's gone to Transylvania for this mysterious count who wants to move to London. Little does he know to move to London to find victims. And he's entrapped there, attacked by wolves initially. And then he's attacked by the vampire brides of Dracula. He escapes and goes back to London, but Dracula has gone back to London and starts attacking first Lucy, who is a friend of his, and she gets turned into a vampire and rises from the grave. So that's a little creepy, a little scary. And then his bride, Mina, who reminds him of his former bride from hundreds of years ago. And the big thing is all the men have to say them. I actually play Van Helsing. He's the oldest one, so that's the one I got to play.
Well, it's definitely not a Cinderella type story.
Not at all.
It's a way different
We're really
take.
stretching our dancers, to do these different roles. Reinhard does get beat up a lot.
Yeah, and what role do you play?
I play Jonathan Harker.
Okay, so you have to fend them off artfully?
Yes. Attempt to.
Yeah. And does it tap into a different part of your training? I mean, I don't know if you're a ballet dancer, do you also have training in other genres, modern dance and other traditions?
Well, we do through the repertoire that we do, I don't know. And Reinhardt, has studied, at different places, and I'm sure he's taken.
Yeah, it's. I think for this one, it's the style is generally, it's all there. It's a lot of Robert's choreography, but keeping the characters going is definitely the new part for everybody, I think.
You can segue into opera next. All you have to do is develop that part of it. So when is it staged? When can we go see it?
October 21st and 22nd at Symphony Hall at the Deck, 2 nights only, and it's going to be a blast. It's going to be a great kickoff to the Halloween season. We're real excited about it. The sets are phenomenal by Ann Gumper in the style of this illustrative style, which is very different from us, which Reinhardt referred to. And
the music
costumes
is really powerful too.
That was a challenge. There had to be some Beethoven because I needed that organ music. And there's some Janacek and some Bela Bartok, because I looked at Eastern European composers, but there's a little bit of Saint-Saëns and Franz Liszt, and anything dark and scary that I could find, I figured out a way to put it together to create these different moments in the ballet.
Well, thank you both for coming in and telling us about it. I really look forward to seeing it. I've been telling everybody about it. This is really cool. It's really cool. Well, Dracula will be staged at the Deck Symphony Hall Friday and Saturday, October 21st and 22nd. Shows start at 7 o'clock.
Funding for the playlist is provided by the citizens of Minnesota through the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and by viewers like you.